Hello, I can't tell you how excited I am every time the first of the month comes around because that means it's payday, and who doesn't love payday? I'm Kayleigh, I'm a personal brand photographer in Liverpool from Seattle, that's why I sound like this, and I love helping entrepreneurs radiate big boss energy on camera, but I also love showcasing business tips and tricks to help any small business owner make things more flowy, more streamlined, and just pretty much sharing what I've learned along the way. I made this spreadsheet ages ago, back in 2021 actually, when I heard of Profit First. I skimmed the book, I read through the bullet points, and I watched his video and I was set. I was like, I can do this, let's go. So regardless of how much I make, I wanted to make sure that I had money to pay myself, I had money to go to taxes, all that fun stuff. So I loved the way percentages were laid out in the Profit First concept. So I made this spreadsheet to make sure I could track everything, and honestly, I love it. I use it every month. I used to pay myself twice a month, but I wanted to cut down on how much time I was putting in admin. So I literally saved half the amount of time that I used to by just doing this monthly instead. So let's have a look at how this works. You can customize this spreadsheet fully if you would like to grab a copy for yourself. This is what we're looking at. Let's say in January I make 4,500 pounds. So on the first of the month, I write how much I have in my account. Let's say that's 3,300, and it totals everything up here. It also totals at the bottom all of the things I make for the month. Let's say November is a 10K month. That would be super dreamy. So at the bottom here, you can see the whole income and everything I've paid myself, everything that's in my tax account, etc. So let's delete these for now and talk about these pots. All right, so these formulas showcase how much goes into my profit, how much goes into tax, how much goes into my operations, and how much goes into my salary, and the total, of course. I need to interrupt your viewing for just a moment and pop in here and let you know that I am not a professional financial person. I'm editing it right now and realize I may not have made that very clear. So I'm a photographer, I run a small business, and this works really well for paying myself in that small business. But if you have any financial or accounting questions, definitely default to the pros. But this works super well in my business. I've been doing it for years and I love it. So I hope that it helps you too. And with that in mind, let's get back to the video. The net income is something I add later on, and I just started doing that last year at the final quarter because I began using QuickBooks and it shows me that, so I thought it'd be a fun thing to include. And then I'm going to add just a personal line here for how much percentage goes to bills every month, just to kind of keep my finances in a bit tighter of organization. So how I run my income is probably a headache to some people, but basically I have two online UK bank accounts, Starling and First Direct. So in Starling, I have two accounts here. I've got my operations account and my personal account. So everything that comes into my business begins in my operations account. So my debit card is tied to that. Every time some money comes in, I transfer it into my income pot. So these are pots in this account. So when it goes in the income pot, it's invisible and I can't spend it. It hides there until the first of each month, where I then put it back into my operations pot and start paying myself out of that account. If this gives you a headache, I am so sorry, but it really works for me. It's been super reliable, and it makes sure I always have money in that base account, which will be my operational expenses account. So whether or not I make a £9 Etsy transaction or thousands of pounds in brand photography sales, each time money comes in, I transfer it from the operations account into the income pot where it hides. Then at the end of the month, everything in the income pot comes out, goes back into my operations, and then I start parsing it out. So 5% of that will go into profit, and this will just accumulate throughout the year, this pot. 15% goes into my tax account, so I transfer it into the other bank, out of sight, out of mind. Don't even look at it, don't pay attention until tax season comes up. And that way I always know I have enough. You could add a little more if you want a bit more of a safety here, and then it's a nice little treat when you don't have to pay as much taxes. Then I send 50% of it to my salary. Obviously you can change this depending on how much you want to pay yourself and how much you think you need for operational expenses. Some months, if I want a little bit more money, like if Christmas is coming up, I'll make my salary a bit higher. Other months, if I feel like I need to buy a new course or a mentorship, I'll make my operations expense percentage a bit higher. So that's how it all works. That's how I run it. It's been really effective for me. I hope that it's useful for you too. If you'd like to purchase a copy of this, you can head to the link below and customize it to suit your needs for your business. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, let me know. Feel free to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.